phrase national treasure is commonly used to refer to anything of considerable cultural, historical, or natural value to a country. This might be art artifacts, monuments, archaeological sites, or types of flora or wildlife peculiar to that country. National treasures are normally heavily safeguarded and administered by governments in order to assure their preservation for future generations. Additionally, these things frequently have a great deal of symbolic importance for a country and its residents, symbolizing essential parts of its common history, culture, or identity. Overview of the Edge of History. Overview of Edge of History. Edge of History is a non-fiction book by historian Stephen H. Haynes that investigates the complicated, frequently misunderstood, and often disregarded link between religion and history. Through his investigation of a broad variety of sources and data, Haynes illustrates how religious faith and belief have had a substantial influence on our knowledge of the past. He investigates the influence of religion on the writing of history, on historical interpretations, and on the ways we approach the study of history. The book gives a detailed survey of the ways religion has inspired the writing of history and offers a unique viewpoint on how faith has influenced the understanding of the past. In addition, Edge of History investigates the role of religion in modern-day arguments about history and its meaning. Historical context. Historical context and the edge of history is a notion that says that history is never completely understood and that there is always a gap between what we believe we know and the truth of the past. This notion is founded on the assumption that we can never know the whole context of what occurred in the past since it is always partial or incomplete. The edge of history idea is commonly used to explain why particular events or personalities are remembered or forgotten throughout time and to examine the complexity of the past. It is a valuable idea for understanding how history is viewed and written. The background of history's edge. Background of Edge of History. The concept of a planet on the brink of Armageddon serves as the foundation of Edge of History. It is a world in which mankind is on the edge of extinction, and the only chance is the discovery of a powerful relic known as the Edge of History. This item holds the key to the destiny of humanity, and it is up to the player to discover it and rescue the planet. The game contains a combination of RPG, tactical, and strategic components, as the player must fight their way through the globe and its various foes in order to retrieve the relic and rescue the world. The significance of the Edge of History. Significance of the Edge of History. The Edge of History is a notion that indicates that we can never know the complete truth about the past. It indicates that while we may learn from the evidence that has been left behind, we can never entirely grasp the reasons and choices that were made in the distant past since they cannot be totally understood. This notion is significant as it reminds us of the limitations of our knowledge and urges us to stay modest and open-minded in our interpretations of history. Cultural impact. The cultural impact Edge of History explores how culture has influenced and been affected by history and how it has altered the path of history. It looks at how culture has been used as an instrument of power and how it has been used to produce change and affect events. It also investigates how culture has been used as a prism through which to understand and make sense of the past. Finally, it looks at how culture may be utilized to help us comprehend the present and prepare for the future. Impact of the Edge of History on society. The Edge of History is a metaphor that has become more popular in recent years to convey the experience of living in a moment of enormous change and uncertainty. The influence of the Edge of History on civilization is far-reaching and multifaceted. It has been asserted that the Edge of History has induced a widespread change in political, social, and economic ideas and conventions. Additionally, it has been stated that the Edge of History has generated a need for more proactive ways of problem-solving since conventional systems of governance and decision-making may be insufficient. Finally, the Edge of History has generated a change in culture and the way we perceive our lives and our connection to the world, as many people are feeling more detached from their governments and the conventional institutions that have long been a part of our lives. Impact of the Edge of History on art. The impact of the Edge of History on art has been far-reaching. The Edge of History movement has had a profound effect on many modern and contemporary art genres, especially those that concentrate on the investigation of identity, memory, and cultural legacy. The movement's concentration on the past has allowed artists to explore the present while still commenting on the future. Edge of history artists generally utilize a range of mediums and methods to communicate their thoughts, from painting and photography to sculpture and digital media. As such, its impact has been seen throughout the visual arts, from street art and graffiti to established art forms. Edge of history art has been used to question current society's structures and conventions, to highlight the confluence of past and present, and to investigate the notion of collective memory. Preservation efforts. This expression refers to the efforts undertaken by people, organizations, and governments to conserve and safeguard historical and cultural items. These efforts may include the preservation of tangible relics, the conservation of historical and cultural locations, and the transmission of knowledge about the necessity of conserving the past. Preservation activities may also encompass the conservation of endangered species, the upkeep of natural environments, and the development of responsible tourism. Efforts to preserve the edge of history. The Edge of History is an initiative to preserve and archive the tales of groups and people that have been historically disadvantaged. Through oral histories, pictures, audio recordings, and other archive material, the project strives to bring to light the unique experiences of individuals of varied origins, cultures, and beliefs. This initiative is a wonderful resource for educators, students, and scholars looking to expand their knowledge of our common past and to develop bridges between people. Challenges to preserving the edge of history. The biggest obstacle to sustaining the edge of history is the ever-changing character of history and the necessity to be knowledgeable and up-to-date. As new material emerges and new interpretations of the past are developed, it is crucial to keep current on the newest research and to be ready to alter one's own knowledge and interpretation of the past. Additionally, owing to the volatile nature of some histories, there may be a need to regularly examine the way particular issues are presented and taught in order to guarantee that all sides of a discussion are covered. Finally, there is a need to be conscious of the potential for prejudice and be prepared to analyze one's own knowledge of the past in order to maintain accuracy and impartiality. Conclusion. The conclusion of National Treasure, The Edge of History is that history is a strong force that can impact the future and that the present can be transformed by knowing the past. It also invites viewers to take an active part in knowing their own past and using it to affect the future. The importance of preserving national treasures. The necessity of conserving national treasures cannot be overemphasized. National treasures symbolize a country's distinctive identity, culture, history, and accomplishments. They are memorials to the past and reflect a common legacy. Preserving national treasures assures that future generations will be able to experience and appreciate